Greetings to you, my friend. Greetings to you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this live here on Utah. Utah crew. Awesome day it is. I hope that you are having a wonderful and splendiferous day. And I hope that you are enjoying life, and enjoying all the possibilities. This is Jerome Shaw, creator of the Open Palm Podcast, marketing motivator and meditator, coming to you live, bringing a message to you. We are on the 30 days of awesomeness. Hashtag 30 days of awesomeness. Hashtag hit the button. And we are pressing that red button. Coming at you with this vulnerability chapter. We're still in vulnerability. I actually thought that we had left, but that is my mistake. I skipped a few pages. We gotta go back. We got more to tell. We are still in the vulnerability chapter, and this is chapter 10 of vulnerability. And we're talking about what I am titling, an eternal slumber. An eternal slumber. Jerome, what do you mean by this? What, Sleeping Beauty? What? An eternal slumber? What are you talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked, my friend. That's why we're here. If you are live, hashtag live. If you're on the replay, hashtag replay. And let's get into it. So, my favorite movie of all time, is The Matrix. And in this movie, Morpheus, who is someone who the main character, Neo, has been looking for some time, tells Neo,
"Have you ever had a dream, Neo, that you were so sure was real? What if you were unable to wake from that dream? How would you know the difference between the dream world and the real world?"
I loved that question. Thank you for catching the live, Pina. I appreciate you being here. Warrior Queen in the building. So this quote from The Matrix really got me thinking, And it's funny because from an early age, I had trouble paying attention in class. I had trouble paying attention anywhere, really, in school, whether there was a lecture, a teacher was teaching. I had trouble paying attention so much that I would often go to sleep. Right there in class, right in front of the teacher. Like while they were teaching. And, Pina says, yes, I have had Matrix dreams and thoughts. Awesome. Awesome. Yes, that is definitely my favorite movie of all time. And so I would go to sleep in class around my classmates and in front of my teachers. No respect, right? Jeez, what was I doing? But it was as if I was going to sleep against my own will, really. And let me explain. So I would fall asleep multiple times in front of teachers throughout high school. And I would actually fall asleep so much that the teachers themselves would stop waking me up. It was actually cutting into their time for the lesson. It was cutting into their lecture time, and it was preventing them from teaching to actually walk over and wake me up. But here's the thing. My mind actually would trick me into thinking that I was still awake. And I never knew what I looked like when I slept until somebody actually took a video on their cell phone and showed me what I looked like. And they said it was like this, like I was just in a trance, and then I would almost fall off, and then I would catch myself, and I would almost fall off, and I would catch myself. And it was like I just kept on almost falling off the desk. I just never fell off the desk. So somehow my body would just autocorrect, but I would just be wistfully asleep, right? Just blissfully asleep, right? And just enjoying my dream. But the funny thing is, oftentimes I wasn't even dreaming your typical dream. I would be dreaming what was actually in front of me. So my mind would trick me and into believing that I was still awake. I was taking notes from the lecture and looking up at the teacher, taking notes, and then all of a sudden the teacher would teleport. They would vanish from the drawing board, and they would be tapping me on my shoulder. I'd be like, "What's going on?" And they'd be like, "Wake up," And what? Like, how did he just Like, how did he get from over there to over here? So it'd be like that. My mind would actually give me a picture, paint a picture of what was going on, trick me into thinking that I was still awake, and I would actually be sleeping. So while it was in recovery mode, I was in dreamland, Kirby's dreamland, right? So one time, this shook me so much because I've actually fallen asleep on the road dozens of times while I've been driving. I've actually fallen asleep, nodded off on the road, and still like woken up and still been driving. Thankfully I wasn't on autopilot, right? But I was just driving, and it's a lot of times I would take it off autopilot, just off cruise control. I mean, just so that if I were to fall asleep, I would just at least my foot would ease off the gas pedal. I would know to wake up. But one time I was on the road, I fell asleep in a major way. And when I woke up, it shook me so much that I believed I was dead for 3 days. For 3 whole days, I thought I was dead. I thought that I had died there in the highway and that I didn't make it. You couldn't have convinced me in those 3 days that I was alive. I literally thought I was in the Matrix, right? Like Morpheus, the question he posed to Neo, what if you were unable to wake from a dream, how would you know the difference between the real world and the dream world? I didn't know. So so you too, Pina, huh? You too have had many nod offs on the road. Crazy, right? So it's scary. It gets scary sometimes. So I feel like I'm lucky to be alive today to bring you this message. And the funny thing is, doctors did not know what to make of it. I had sleep studies. I had where I would spend a night doing a sleep study. They would hook up these nodes to my brain. They would hook up these things to my head and then look at the data as I was sleeping to try and figure out what was wrong. Hooked up to the machines. They put me on CPAP for a while. So I was on a CPAP machine where I was like Darth Vader, just at night. And, had me breathing like that all night. That didn't work. Still fell asleep in class. They even told me that I had a deviated nasal septum. They went in there, did the operation, corrected that, pulled the thing out. And even when they corrected the deviated nasal septum, I still went to sleep. So that didn't do anything. So nothing seemed to work. Later years, and I just accepted it as part of who I was. I said, you know what? I guess this is who I am. I accept it. Hey, Mr. Dean, thank you for joining, brother. I appreciate you, having you live. If you're live, hashtag live. If you're on the replay, catch that replay button. I appreciate you for joining. So I just accepted it as a part of who I am. I said, I guess I'm just the type of person who gets sleepy, who gets tired. I guess I just nod off. I guess this is who I am. I just accepted it as my reality, right? And after all those years, I started to abuse caffeine in ungodly ways. I would abuse caffeine. I was working at a job overnight and overnight stocking at a grocery store in Texas. There's grocery stores called H-E-B. And I remember putting things on the aisle, being on aisle 4, aisle 3, putting all this stuff on the aisles and just nodding off, blasting this music in my ear, because we would work from 10 at night to 10 in the morning. They weren't supposed to keep us that long, but they did, and we got that little overtime because we were in the frozen section, but they would keep us from 10 at night to 10 in the morning, and it would be hell for me just on those aisles. Thank you for joining, Chris. Appreciate having you on the live stream. And man, I would just be cranking this music, bumping it. This is where I learned how to, how to beatbox heavy. Doing all these beatboxes and learning different sounds and noises with my mouth, like how I can make different things, all sorts of stuff. So I was just wildly creative trying to stay awake, right? And someone told me while working at that grocery store, if you want to beat a caffeine habit, eat a Fuji apple. So I would start with a Fuji apple, 2 Gatorades, this was my routine. Then I had 2 Monsters, right? And if that didn't hold me, after 2 cans of Monster, 2 Gatorades, and a Fuji apple, I would take 1/2 of an Adderall that I would get from somebody who was actually prescribed Adderall. At the time, I wasn't taking any. And I would take 1/2 to to like really get that kickstart. So this was an insane caffeine habit. I was like shooting my adrenaline levels like way past what they needed to be. And I was doing this on a consistent basis. I was living a vampire lifestyle, being awake at night and being asleep during the day. So this put my sleep cycle all out of whack. But this is where I learned how to smile at strangers, because by 5 a.m., if I took that Adderall or that last Monster, when that would kick in, people would come in at 8 o'clock in the morning, not knowing that we had been there since 10 o'clock that night. And I would smile at people and say, hey, how's it going, sir? How can I help you? Can I help you find anything? And they'd be like, no, I'm good. Just going to find their breakfast cereal or whatever, right? But this is where I learned how to smile at people when I didn't want to. And now I have that ability. I feel like it's a superpower of mine to be able to smile at strangers. So after all those years, I found the answer to my slumber. And yes, Fuji apples. Pina says, Fuji apples. Yeah. So after all those years, I found the answer to my slumber, what I feel like is the answer. And what sapped my energy and made me so sleepy and so tired all those years, this is my opinion, and take it how you want, but it was no purpose. No purpose. I was living my life without purpose. Because without a purpose-driven life, you will get tired. You will feel sleepy. But I am of the school of thought that when you are driven by purpose, you don't get tired. Now, you may need rest, which is different. Your body may need rest, but I do not think that you get tired. So now that I'm living this purpose-driven life where I feel connected to something, where I'm able to give a message like this to you, and I'm able to impact the life of another person, to touch a life at the touch of a button, I feel purpose-driven. Purpose is flooding my veins, my bloodstream. It courses through my body, and I just have just this thirst for more knowledge, a lust for life, a passion to project this energy and give you this message. And I wake up each morning before the sun comes up, ready to greet the day, because I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what the day brings. I cannot wait till the sun comes up. I wake up and I get things done. Before people have even wiped the boogers from their eyes, I wake up and I have energy throughout the entire day. Now, meditation has definitely done something to do with that. Sun gazing as well has helped me with that. Much breath work has helped me with that as well. But and side note as well, this is a whole nother topic, I won't get into it, but intermittent fasting and practicing liquidarianism, which I am now a practitioner of liquidarianism. I have been living a liquidarian lifestyle, so that's another whole thing entirely. But these things have given me more energy than I have ever had in my entire life. I'm telling you, it's intoxicating. I feel over the moon with energy now, and I wouldn't trade it. And it was because less is more. I learned the 80-20 principle. The less energy I spent here, the more energy I have for this. The less energy I gave to these things, the more energy I have for this. So I'm very selective now with my energy. And it is like Samuel Jackson said. Samuel Jackson, famous actor, been in so many roles. I believe at one time, if not currently, he was the highest grossing actor, highest paid man in Hollywood. Samuel Jackson said in an interview that he used to be an addict. He used to be a junkie on the street, and Spike Lee actually got him off the street. And in that movie, Jungle Fever with Spike Lee, he was detoxing. Many people don't know that, but he was actually a junkie during that movie, during the filming. So Spike Lee actually saved him, from the streets. And he's continued on since that point in his film career. And he said that he wouldn't trade it for anything, that he actually feels a bit greedy, a little bit, because he could be back on the street, but he wouldn't trade it. He'd rather have this. So that's what I'm saying, my friend. I'd rather have this. I'd rather be able to live a purpose-driven life, be able to give this passion to you, and be able to impact you to find your own passion in life. I would rather have this, So maybe I am a little selfish in that regard. But But yes, I thank you for taking the time to be here, my friend. The most valuable thing that you can give is your time. It is something that you cannot get back. So thank you for spending your time with me, writing off a check for me on your energy checkbook and giving me and sharing your energy with me, really sharing this time with me. Charles Buxton said that we will never find time for anything. To have time, we must make it. So as I am making the time for you, you have made the time for me. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Pina. Thank you for being here, Pina. Once again, Warrior Queen, I appreciate you and your support. And hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Be well, be blessed. Comment below. Share if you received a nugget. Share this with a like-minded individual who is learning and growing, becoming their greatest version. Pay it forward today, as I don't think these messages are heard often enough. But I will see you down in the comment section, and I will talk to you soon, my friend. Today has been day number 10. This has been chapter 10 of our vulnerability chapter. So we are officially closing the chapter and moving on in our story. Okay. So it's been wonderful. It's been real. Be blessed. Take care. Oh, and let me go through back here just to see who else joined here. Chris, thank you once again. Pina, thank you once again. Kamalu, thank you once again for being here. I appreciate all of you. All of you. Be blessed, be well, have a productive day, my friend.